to the second game of Easter Saturday. It is the only other game available on this day. It is the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Canberra Raiders. And you know what? Let's switch the little fins up a little bit. You got Reece Walsh, Jesse Arthurs, Katoni Staggs, Herbie Farnworth, Solon Cobbo, Ezra Mann, Adam Reynolds, Thomas Fegler, Billy Walters, Payne Haas, who, by all accounts, he could soon become the most paid Bronco in history as they try to table up an offer for the next 3 years of well over $1 million. You've got Kurt Capewell, Jordan Ricky, Patrick Carrigan, Corey Pax, Keenan Palacia, Corey Jensen, Marty DePau, and Jordan Pereira. But before I talk about this squad, you shook your head then a little bit about Payne Haas being over $1 million, being the highest paid player. Now, I don't agree. If you look back at some of the legends they had, he should be the most highest paid player, but we do know how inflation's gone and how contracts have gone. And I think if you look at this squad 1 through 18, you're going to tell me you have 1.1 million. Who are you signing first? I'm not looking past Payne Haas. Surely you've got to agree with that.
No, I agree with you 100% with his current form and the years prior to this season. He has been one of the best forward frontmen in the game. Stats don't lie. He's ranked there in the top 3 each and every year. That's why he gets picked for Origin. But to me, name any winning premiership side from 1998 that had a player worth $1 million in their forward frontline position. None, because there are none. To me, I think
it's a different game. But, you had Tamalalo on $1 million.
We didn't win. We didn't win
exactly
$1 million. We didn't win.
Exactly. You've got a player that is similar to.
Yeah, we had a player. We have a player who is similar to Payne Haas, different position. Then we signed him on the big money contract where he, had some terrible years, terrible years. But he's repaid that. But what I'm trying to say is, you shouldn't be paying these guys big money because. Yes, they get some money next year for Herbie Farnworth, who, yes, isn't on big money at the moment, given that he is on near minimum contract wage at the moment. But really, you're going to upgrade Payne Haas. I think he's on 8. Is he on 850, 800 at the moment? Let's just roughly figure this. He's on 850. Then you're going to spend an extra 150,000 for the next. For each and every year for the next 3 years, that's $450. You could pay someone else, or spread out to other people to give bigger contracts. Like to me, like I know I'm a bit stubborn in here, but I don't think any forward should be earning that much money, regardless of what numbers they're putting out. Like, okay, you want to be David Fafita and go play at the Knights? Not the Knights, the Titans. Enjoy early Mad Monday in August, because that's where you're headed towards if you want to do that. If you want to win Prem and you want to go after results and make a name for yourself, like the previous Broncos forwards, like legends that are out there, just stay on what you want. And I think this is more of a management chirping in the ear of the Broncos going, give him $1 million, give him $1 million. Like, they're not getting paid from his current contract because that was dealt with old management. So just leave the kid alone and let him keep playing ball. Because well, as I said, as I always will say, don't try and fix something that ain't broken. And at the moment, he ain't broken, so just leave him alone.
I'm going to have to completely disagree with you. I think Payne Haas is worth that $1 million all the way. You take a Payne Haas out of this squad's not 0-5. This squad's struggling to be 2 from 3, if not worse. I don't see a world where Brisbane can compete without the meters that Payne Haas is putting up, without the post-contact meters, the offloads, all these things he's putting together, the leadership that he started in the show. This is all why his mum's got a court case going on. So there's a lot of outside noise going on in his head, and he's still showing up week in, week out. He's young. He's putting up the fin. I think I'd say 16 teams. I reckon every single team you put Payne Haas in their squad, they perform better. So
they perform better. Perform better, yes. But let's just say you're the bloke that's going to tick and approve the Roosters. If you had a spare $1 million, would you give it to Payne Haas right now to put him in your
Right
squad?
now, 100%.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Right, let me ask you this. Do you think it's an upgrade on Hargreaves?
Oh, this is a different kettle of fish at the moment because.
No, do you think he's an upgrade on Hargreaves?
Okay, who's better, Prime Haas or Prime Hargreaves?
We're not talking about Prime right now.
No,
we're not talking about Prime. Do you currently think
Haas is hitting his prime at the moment?
No. But do you currently think he's better than Hargreaves?
Well, given that he's older, I'll have to say yes.
Okay, Hargreaves is on 750,000. So why does this guy not deserve another $200,000?
That is paid on the back of his international minimum contract. Plus, I don't know when he signed that original contract of 70-50 Hargreaves, but that would have been a previous contract, probably with a extension in his favour from when he was in his prime. So that's why
it's been the same. He's been on this same price for like 4 years. Like Payne Haas is $1 million. Now, let me ask you this question. You're talking about, is Payne Haas worth $1 million? Should you guys terminate Tamalalo because he's on 950 till 2027?
Well, he's actually on $1 million, but we've jiggied the salary cap, so he's earned more in his early stages of that 10-year deal. If I had to pick, this is no bias aside, I'd take Tamalolo any day of the week.
You're absolutely mental.
Because
absolutely mental.
If you were to say, do you take Pat Carrigan or Jason Tamalolo, I would lean towards Pat Carrigan. But Payne Haas is playing good. I'm not denying that. On the park, and what he's doing when he crosses that white line is great. But as I said, name me a winning side in the last 10 years who's had
last 10 years because contracts have gone up $200,000 in the last 10 years, $300,000. So the players that are on 750.
Okay, in the last 5 years. Since the Roosters won since the Roosters won the grand final.
Hargreaves, perfect example. We went back to back. He's on 750,000. He has been since we went back to back. Now with inflation, if he didn't have that 750,000, he'd be worth $1 million. There's your $1 million player. It's just because he's been on a contract where it goes up with the salary cap, and that's the reason he's stuck at $750,000. If not, there's your premiership winner. You look at Melbourne Storm. You keep putting up Nelson's contract. If he wasn't tied into a contract, he's on 650,000. Add another 200,000. Now he's getting closer to Payne Haas's contract. There's players there. It's just these players are now negotiating new deals because there's more money in the salary cap. So as the salary cap goes up, forwards prices are going to go up. Fullbacks prices are going to go up because really, you got $1 million. Besides maybe Reece Walsh in a few years, there's no other player in this team that deserves $1 million besides Payne Haas.
Well, apart from this 118, what has Payne Haas done? Let's be realistic. Name a player down there who hasn't won, apart from Adam Reynolds, that's done anything really great. You've got Kurt Capewell and Adam Reynolds who are premiership winning. You talk about Jared, he's won 3 premierships now.
Yeah, but it's a side he's in.
Yeah, but Payne Haas hasn't.
You put Payne Haas in that Roosters 18-19. Did they win? Yes, 100%.
With the player that you had at 7, of course you're going to win.
But exactly, that's my point. You put this guy in anything, he wins.
I don't think you should pay. Okay, if he wants an upgrade, give him an upgrade. But $1 million, like, let's be realistic. In my opinion, and I'm happy to own this in a few years' time, we'll see how they go. But you give Payne Haas $1 million plus, or whatever you want to sign with 1 point in front of it, I don't think they go forward. I'm talking as a team that came from second to third last year. Oh no, sorry, 2 years ago. Yeah, they finished 9th last year, but like if you want to win prems, you need. Tell me why the Melbourne Storm had all their forward packs on, $600,000-$700,000, and the big three were on mil plus.
Okay, tell me why the Melbourne Storm couldn't keep him. Because they're worth more. They're worth that extra money.
No, they could have re-signed him for.
They couldn't. They didn't have the money. They openly said that we can't negotiate with what they're worth now.
Well, they could have sacrificed 2 and kept 2 with the money that they would save on the other 2 players. They didn't have to release all 3 of them. They could have signed 2, but this is a topic that we'll have to agree to disagree here. I don't believe he should. Look, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it based on the stats that he's provided. Not disagreeing with you there. Do I personally think he should be paid $1 million? No. You want to win prems? Take a haircut. You don't take haircuts to not win prems.
Well, take a haircut, come to the Roosters, play a game of golf. We'll put you on 200,000 and we'll give you $1 million. So we'll have to agree to disagree. We'll put it to an Instagram poll. We'll see what the general public does think. Is he worth $1 million? If not, no. But in that position, he probably is the best player in the game at the moment, playing that position. But before we forget what we're actually here for, we are here to talk about the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Canberra Raiders. So that's to take it away with the Canberra Raiders squad.
Oh, I even forgot that they were even here with our last week's scoreline. But Sebastian Chris in the fullback role, Albert Hopewate in the wing position with Jordan Rapana, Jared Croker makes his 2023 debut with Matthew Timoko, Brad Schneider, Jamal Fogarty in the halves, Josh Papali'i, Joseph Tarpany in the forward role, Zach Wolford in the hook position, Hudson Young, Ellen Whitehead, Corey Horsburgh to round out the pack, Tom Snarling, Emre Goulet, Pasamele Solo Sausulo, Corey Nara, and James Schneider. Schilder. Again, English is not my first language, so come at me with all the hate comments and whatnot because I'll defend it to the kingdom come. But
English is the least of your worries right now. The Payne Haas fans are going to be out. The Broncos are going to come out with their pitchforks.
I didn't say he's not worth it because of his stats says, again, we're going to go a bit off topic, but Payne Haas, his stats says yes, he should be paid $1 million. I'm not disagreeing with it. He's the best, probably the best prop in the game. State of origin, rep level, yeah, worth it. But me personally, if you want to win prems, you take haircuts to keep the squad in check. We talk about the missing player here in Jack Wighton, who since the weekend, the Canberra Raiders are now tabled a $4.4 million offer for the next 4 years. Now, you and I had a conversation off air. If you want to win prems, you've got to go elsewhere. And if you're going elsewhere, you're probably playing a different position. You're probably taking a financial, a significant haircut because of the position, But is this Canberra side in the next 4 years going to win a comp? No. It's just simple as that. I get he's playing in a half position, but with at the moment right now, and I forget who I forget who it was because I can't find it, who said that the Canberra side Ricky's going to blow this team up with regards of rebuilding this. Do I believe Ricky getting a sack? No, because he's Canberra through and through. Is Jack Wighton Canberra? Yeah, I can't imagine a world or a day that goes by that I don't see him in a Raiders jersey. We talked off air. If he wants to win prems, he's probably going to play at South at right centre, or he's going to Cronulla Sharks, where I could see him playing again alongside Nico Hines and making that squad even that halves pairing even stronger. But $4.4 million over the next 4 years, virtually Jack doesn't owe Canberra anything. Yeah, he's looking for this big contract before this big super payout before he goes and retire because the NRL stands for not very long. But if you want to win prem, as I said, if you want to win prems, you've got to take haircuts to keep the squad together. That's what Penrith unfortunately couldn't do with their contract situation going on at the time. But you look at the 2019 grand final, and there's probably a few players there still from that squad. Jared Croker, Jared Rapana, Joseph Tarpany was there, Elliot Whitehead was there, but this is an aging squad over the park, across the whole park. You got a center playing fullback. Like we're gonna talk up how terrible Raiders are, but yeah, they're injured. Yeah, they're playing like they had a player, a great fullback, and they let him go because they thought the money he was asking was too much for what he was showing, and he's gone across to the Warriors, and he's proven why he deserves that little bit of pay rise. Mate, you don't move on good players like that if you're not going to try and have a good crack at the 8, and if not, go all the way to try and make grand final day. But it's hard to sit here and defend Ricky as much as we love him as a bloke, as a person, as a coach, and he's what he says off field and in front of the media with his Javen Salmon remarks. Love him as a bloke, but when the team's not on, sometimes it's better just to pull the hand grenade and go, all right, start again. And you build.
100%. And I think I'll jump in there, Bex, because we are getting a bit fast. We might have to do an episode on what we think Ricky would do and what we think of this Payne Haas situation and this Brisbane, Canberra rebuild, whatever they're going through. But I think Ricky, Wighton, it's a combo. If one stays, they both stay. If one goes, they both go. So I think that's what's going to happen here, because Ricky has had Wighton's back through thick and thin, and Wighton's always had Ricky's back. So I think one way or the other, I think they're both going to stay. But if one does go, I think Wighton will call it quits and go somewhere else. But quickly, let's jump in. Give us your predictions for this game.
It's no surprises here. I'm going to go Brisbane 13+.
I've said it a lot, and I'm expecting a lot of points while I'm sitting there eating chocolate over Christmas. So I'm going to over Easter, sorry. So I'm going to sit there with you, and I'm going to say Broncos 13+.